Hello everyone, welcome to 6.10 Problem Solving Practice Addition and Subtraction. This is going to be a little bit of algebra that we're going to be talking about today, so just bear with me. The essential question is, how can you use addition or subtraction to describe a pattern or create a sequence in fractions? The language of the discipline that you need to know is a variable. This is what you're going to really see in algebra. This is something you're going to need to get used to because it's only going to continue to happen the older you get. But a variable is an unknown value in an equation, and this is represented typically by a letter such as x. Okay, so I'm going to give you two examples. They're going to be word problems because that's what we're going to be seeing today. You really need to pay attention and write the notes, okay? So please write what a variable is. You need to write the steps, and there's two long word problems here which you're going to need to write, okay? It's just how it is. So the steps. Read carefully. What do you need to find? What's missing from the problem? They're going to give you lots of information, and you need to find out what's missing. Then you say, okay, well, what information do they give me to solve the problem? What information do I need to use to find the missing information? And then how am I going to use it? Am I going to add or subtract? Maybe even both. So go ahead and pause if you need to write this down. All right, pause for the first example so you can write that down. All right, pause for the second example so you can write that down. Okay, let's get started with example number 1. The Diaz family is cross-country skiing the big trails, which have a total length of 4 miles. I'm going to highlight 4 miles because I think that's really important. That's the total. Okay, let me highlight that a little bit better. Like that. Okay. Yesterday they skied the 7/10 mile Oak Trail. Today they skied the 3/5 mile Pine Trail. If they plan to ski all of the big tree trails, how many more miles do they have left to ski? So how many more miles do they have left? That's what we're trying to find. So we know that the 7/10 plus the 3/5 plus x, because we don't know what the rest of it is, equals 4, right? It's going to be 4 miles. So this is the equation you need to have. I know, once again, what I have. I have 7/10 miles. I know that I have to add that to the 3/5 miles. And I have to add the unknown, how much more they have left, to find out the total, which is 4. Okay, they give you the total already. Okay, so let's go ahead and solve. Well, first off, we need to have a common denominator. I know 5 goes into 10. So I'm going to take 3/5, multiply it by 2 to get me 6/10. So I know 7/10 plus, not 3, 6/10 plus x equals 4. Now here's the next thing you have to do. You want to get x by itself. Okay? Think of it as you're hanging out with your friends. All right? This is you, this is your friends. And you're hanging out, and X is your little sibling. And they're annoying you, and you're like, oh my gosh, I need to get them to my mom or dad, which would be on the other side. Well, what you got to do is you and your friends need to come together. So you got to add. And then you got to go find your parents, which would be over on the other side. Okay? And I'll show you how to do that. In order to cross this wall here, you need to do the opposite. Alright, I'll show you what I mean in a second. So this is the equation we have. Let's go ahead and add 7/10 plus 6/10. That's going to give us 13/10 plus x equals 4. Okay, if you need to pause to write this work down, go ahead and do so, because I'm going to erase and I'm going to continue. Okay? Alright, so we have 13/10 plus x equals 4. We need to get the 13/10 on this side. Okay, well, it's a positive, and the way that we can get it over there is we have to go through the equation sign and do the opposite, which is subtract. Okay, we're going to subtract 13/10 here, and then subtract 13/10 here. This cancels it out, which leaves x by itself. X equals 4 minus 13/10. Okay, so what we can do now is we can take this whole number, 4, okay? We could actually take out one of them, make it 3, and have it x equals 3/10 minus 13/10, okay? And actually, I might need to take on another one because that's still too low. So let's take it out and make it a 2, and then we'll make it 20/10, okay? So 2 and 20/10, okay? And the reason why it's 20/10 is because I took out two 10/10s, right? And if I have to show you 10/10, it's 10/10, equals 20 over 10, okay? So since I did that, that's why I took out 2, okay? So instead of 4, it's going to be 2. I'm taking 2 out, okay? And now let's subtract, okay? 20 minus 13 is 7 over 10. 2 and 7 over 10 is our final answer. Okay, I know this seems complicated, so if you have questions, you need to make sure you write them down. Okay, I'm going to do the second example, and hopefully we can see a little bit more as we do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to example number 2. Lisa's class is making wicker baskets. Great. Lisa starts with a strip of wicker that is 36 inches long. I'm going to circle that. She first cuts one piece of the strip, but doesn't know it's the length. Okay, that's probably what we're going to have to find. Then cuts a piece that's 6.5 inches. The piece left is 7 3/4 inches. What's the length of the first strip? So we know it's going to total as 36 inches. It's going to equal 36 inches. She cut off one that she doesn't know. Okay, so I want to have that X. Then she cut off another one at 6.5, and then she cut off another one at 7 3/4. So all of them together would equal 36. So, once again, we need to combine, then subtract to get on the other side. So let's combine 6.5 plus 7 3/4. Well, I know 1/2 goes into fourths 2 times, so I'm going to multiply that by 2 to get 2/4. So I got X plus 6 2/4 plus 7 3/4 equals 36. 6 plus 7 is 13. 2 plus 3 is 5 over 4. Oh, but that's an improper fraction, right? I can take 4 out of that, and I could change that to make it X plus 14 and 1 over 4 equals 36. Okay, if you need to write this down, go ahead, because I'm going to erase. Okay, so once again I have X. I'm going to do this in another color, actually. X plus 14 and 1 over 4 equals 36. And I know I need to subtract 14 and 1 over 4 to get it on the other side, because you got to do the opposite. So that cancels this out. That gets me X equals 36 minus 14 and 1/4. I can take 1 out of 36, make it 35, and change it to X equals 35 and 4 over 4 minus 14 and 1 over 4. Okay, 35 minus 14. Let's go do it right here, is 21. X equals 21. 4 minus 1 is 3 over 4. 21 and 3 over 4 is my final answer. Okay, if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. We're going to go over this in a little bit more length when we get into class. I know this is new because it's algebra. Don't worry about it. You really just need to see what information are they giving you. Okay, what are they telling you to do? Don't freak out when you see a variable. It just means that, hey, this is an unknown number that I need to find. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.